Hey guys, I am here. I'm just trying to sort hands here somewhere. Hi. I'm just trying to sort my webcam and everything out because I can't get the lighting right today. It's driving me absolutely nuts. Okay. Excuse any noises you can hear in the background. I think I might need to go shut the door, so just bear with me if I go walkabout. Just something going on with my camera today. Right, just grab the door. Yeah, the colour's really weird at the moment and it's driving me insane. You can tell it's not right because of the colour of my hand. I've gone like this weird orange. Move that up a bit as well. Even that camera's playing up. So I don't know what's going on right now. My head's like right down here. Does that help? God, the aspect ratio is really dodgy. This is a really well organised live feed right now. It's... Oh, and I left my phone on. Let's try... There we go. That's a bit better, apart from the big shining blurry light right in my face. Let's turn the colour intensity down, that might be the problem. If anyone would like to send me like a few £100, a tech guy and some really impressive lights, I'd love you forever. But apparently we're supposed to have a really unorganised, stressful beginning to our live feed. So if anyone is there, because I can't see because I'm trying to sort my camera out, look at that, it's horrible. What is going on? I think we're just going to have to do... There we go. That's the closest I'm going to get. It's not quite as dark as it is on my paper. Hi, Joe. Right, just need to do my quick... Two seconds. Hi guys, we're live over on YouTube now, so if you want to come find me, just search for Bonnita Doodles. That'll do. I don't even know if I said YouTube live actually, so I could be live anywhere and they will never know. Okay, phone's on silent, computer's on silent. Lighting is semi sorted out, I think. Yeah, it's lost a bit of depth now. That's the only thing. Turn the gain down. That's a bit better. Okay. So, if you're bored of sitting through doing this, just let me know and we'll do something else next week. But if you're quite happy still going with her, then that's not a problem with me. borrowed some of my pencils for the hummingbird that I'm doing at the moment. So I don't know whether I'm going to have all the colours from previous weeks. I don't know. And the trouble is, the bulldog that we're doing for the Patreon tutorial takes the same colours. Now I've said this to you, that people that have followed me for a while are aware that generally you can do a person portrait and a dog portrait and a cat portrait and a bird portrait and never actually change the colours you use. It just depends on how you use them. So yeah, you'll be surprised actually how much of the same colours you use. I'm absolutely exhausted, if I'm honest, Joanne. It's just been, you can tell it's nearing the end of term with this child here. So we're going to try and finish the hand off. I think I need to get the reference picture up. I told you I was disorganised, and I literally just made a load of beetroot brownies, like literally 20 minutes before I had to be getting ready, so I didn't do myself any favours whatsoever. Right, there she is. Okay, I will need to put it on charge at the same time. Okay, so I'm hoping, depending, I've had quite a few new subscribers recently, and I'm hoping that they get the notification, so we might get a new audience as well today. So I'm probably just going to go through the colours as I'm using them, if I can remember what the hell I'm doing, as it's been a week. And it's not unusual for me to forget at all. I've got 2 light fleshes for some reason. I don't need 2 light fleshes. So let's put that one back for the dog. And I'll use this one. I don't know why. As soon as I come on a live feed, I get an itchy end of my nose. You know, like when you do the washing up, or you've got crap all over your hands and you get an itch somewhere, but you've got stuff just everywhere. Always the way. Well, I have to say, this brownie smelled quite good. I need to do my share out in a moment as well. Yes, in light of said child being a bit of a rebel and a tired child lately, I haven't had a huge amount of time to get the worksheets done, but I am going to get the worksheets done, and I'm going to do some video tutorials to go along with them, and I'm going to spend the next couple of days, I'm going to put the hummingbird to one side, and I'm going to spend the next couple of days doing that for you guys. So the worksheets primarily are going to be about the importance of shading and different techniques of shading. So hopefully going forward, when you do the Patreon tutorials, there'll be a lot of use to you, and they're things that you can have in your workbooks as well if you have sketchbooks, and they're things that you can just practice anytime. So if you're just sitting in front of the telly, on the train or whatever, it really doesn't matter. Okay. think, oh, sorry, I'm just sipping down my coffee as quick as I can. One more share and I think we're done. Oh, I can't remember which one it is. I'm just going to put it in this one and hope for the best. Okay, done. Okay, it's still quite dark, but it's going to have to do for now. So this is the Cap at Mortem, which we've been using for a lot of the really dark shadows, and I'm doing completely the wrong bit. It's this bit I want to do. She's got almost like a triangle shape here, so that's exactly what I'm drawing. So when I go on about literally just drawing what you see and not what you think should be there, this is a prime example. So if you see a triangle, then draw a triangle. Hoping I can get rid of most of that when I go over with the Luminance, because that's not coming up very well with that eraser. Hi Erica. Probably nice to have a bit of chill down time, isn't it? Brush. I think we could probably actually get a good portion of her body done tonight. So again, I'm just filling with the light flesh at the moment. We've got a slight purple tone in here. I'm only going to do that very lightly. It's definitely worth making sure that you add these purple tones to the areas that you see when you do your portraits. You know, generally you'll see it under the eyes, normally where the skin is thinnest, or it can depend on where the shadow is hitting, and of course what lighting is used. But as we've got the purple hue in her skin tones on her face, we need to make sure that we bring them over to her hand as well, and then it looks much more natural. Ideally, I probably should have put a bit of tape across the bottom. In fact, I might still... I hope it went as well as it could have. I'm just putting it over my leggings to take some of the extra tack out. So, I mean, it's Scotch tape anyway, which is pretty good, but it just takes the extra bit off. So I'm then not tearing the paper when I remove the tape. Put it on straight would help, Bonnita, wouldn't it? Okay, you could probably see all the mottling from my leggings, which is nice. Can you zoom in? Okay. I don't know how well it's going to work with tonight's lighting, to be honest. I might need to move her. Might as well take the blue tack off if she's going to be taped. How's that? She might be a bit out of focus as well now. Okay, so we're just going to blend out I'm using my brownish orange or brownish orange to blend these shadows out. I will go darker in the shadow, but I just want to get a softer blending. So it's not necessarily a shadow, but it's not a mid-tone either. Right, let's go in with the medium flesh. I'm still doing oval motions. It doesn't matter how small the area is that I'm going to, it's still the same little ovals. I was thinking about this the other day, and in fact I'm surprised nobody's asked the question about why ovals. So if you're interested, I'll tell you, but if not, I have a feeling I've mixed my dog pencils up with my person pencils. As long as you put it over some fabric, use washi tape or the Scotch tape. The Scotch tape's really, really good because it tends to come off really easily. Don't just use sellotape. But if you do use sellotape, then just put it on your sofa, leggings, tights, jumper, whatever, just to take some of that tack away, and it will stop you from doing it. And also when you take the paper, take the tape off, just do it really, really slowly and close. So when you come to take the paper off, I literally pull it like that, flat on the surface, and then it's less likely to tear. Right, the Van Dyke Brown's the dog pencil, so that's going to one side. It's going to take me a while to build up the hand because of the different tones. So I understand if you cannot sit here for a good 2 hours, but it's worth it if you can nip back every now and then just to see progress, really. God, those brownies smell good. I made 3 trays worth as well. I had a load of beetroot that needed using up. I've made beetroot brownies in the past and they've always gone down really, really well. This time I just shoved a load of stuff in the food processor, so God only knows what that's going to come out like. That's very strange. If you do it really gently, and as I say, do it on your surface as you go, it tends to reduce any damage. But you may have been a bit too gentle about putting loads of crap over your tape. Just put loads of crap over your tape. So don't worry too much. Okay, so the reason for ovals is that it's in between your circles and your straight lines. So when we do our straight lines, we tend to, let's do on a clean bit, we tend to get this effect. If we did circles, we end up getting this effect. But because we can do ovals, we get a really, really nice, smooth finish without having to do too much effort. So circles, and I'm doing quite small circles, you still end up seeing those gaps, and then of course lines, you end up seeing the lines. So ovals is perfect because it's right in the middle, and by the time you, say for example, do that, you come up and you enter the inside of that oval, so you end up filling that oval out. So just generally ovals are a really good way to do it. Hi Imogen, hello. Thank you. I'm just drinking really sweet coffee. So if you see my face curl, that's why. I've been suckered into buying those skinny syrups, and they're really yummy, but they can be a bit sweet. So Caput Mortem Violet. No, Caput Mortem. God, it's been a long day. Parents' evening as well, so that was fun. How are you, Imogen? Right, we need to get some purple tone in there, so the light red violet. This come up in one of the I think it was the Jazza unboxing video. Casey Golden, I think it was. I've never really, I take notice, I know they're there, but the name that they, I don't know if you can see that, Hell. So Rot Violet Hell for red light violet, which is very, very funny. They use it on a few colours actually. So yeah, we need to get the purple tone in there. And again, where she's got her hand here, you've got the stretching of the skin. So you can see straight away here, if you were to do my hand, you've got purple tones in here, you've got purple tones in here, you've even got a purple tone here. So yeah, flesh, I think the thing is when people do portraits, they instantly think that they're only going to be working in beiges and creams, but that isn't the case. Still think that could do with being a bit darker, to be honest. Okay, it's very blocky at the minute because that's essentially what you do when you start, you block everything out. Oh, did you get the Polychromos? So we've got a bright highlight just on the knuckle here. So I'm going to fill that with the light flesh. And then we'll come back with the buff titanium to create the highlight on her knuckle. I know I haven't gone dark enough yet. But I'm just blending over what I've got so far. And of course blending in the opposite direction of what we've done already. My hand's right in the way, sorry. Like so. So we're already building up the shape of her hand. Then we're going to start going in with the medium flesh and the probably the red rather than the dark flesh. Oh, Bixby. Has anyone got Bixby on their phone? Because I tell you what, it drives me absolutely potty and you can't get rid of the stupid thing. I can't find my red. Shall I cry now or later? This is what I've been using on that hummingbird. All of these. Oh yeah, you've got to have your buff titanium. Here it is. This is Venetian red. I really need to get another one. Okay. So I am going to go over with our dark tone again. And then we're going to blend the edge out with the medium flesh. Guess who remembered to put the microphone next to them tonight? Not only did I remember to press record, I remembered my microphone too. What's happening today? I have some spectrum blending solution which I did a review video for and I just wasn't happy at all with it, so I need to redo it. But it was so weird using blending fluid. Didn't feel right. Okay, we need some more purple tone in here. Already there is a massive difference in the shape of this hand compared to 2017. Line there, line coming up here. We need our cap at Morton for that, I think. I have, for some reason, I've blended my dog pencils, the Patreon tutorial, in with these. I'm wondering if it might be better to put you, I don't think I can, put you at an angle. I wish you could draw all day and I could watch. I wish I could draw all day too. Albeit I might be a bit tired, but yeah, that hummingbird has been quite a challenge, to say the least. I'm going to need the Caput Mortem Violet, I think. The Caput Mortem's just not cutting it. There we go. So again, we're still really blocky at the moment because we haven't blended it all. Going back, you can see that these need to be darker, these areas. The thing is, it's all about layering each time rather than going straight in and then not being able to undo. Because if you go straight in and go, oh crap, I've gone too dark, you know, you can eliminate a certain amount, but one, you're making more work for yourself, and two, you could end up in the long run damaging your work. So you're better off doing lots of light layers like this and taking your time over it than trying to get loads done at once. For the Patreon, there is another portrait coming up. At the minute it's tricky because we're only doing one a month, and of course they take so long to do. But I've already been asked to do a pastel one, which was the plan for August, was to do a pastel owl. And then I'm hoping to get a portrait done. We've done a child portrait, we've done a male portrait in graphite. So I thought we'll probably do a female portrait in colour pencil. Yeah, it's really tricky actually to know what to do for tutorials on a monthly basis, because, you know, most of you guys want full-blown tutorials, not just bits. And yeah, they take some time to record and edit. So it's tricky really, trying to work out what you do each month. But yes, the short answer is yes, there will be. I don't even know what I'm going to do for my live feeds after she's finished, to be honest. That's too dark in there, but I'll bring that out in a minute. I might do a pastel live actually, or watercolour. I haven't done watercolour for a while. This is the trouble, there's too much bloody choice. Hi Pam. Okay, so I'm going to blend over now with the titanium buff so I can see where the land lies and what I need to do. But to give you an idea, so this is 2019. So this is 2017. So the huge difference between the two already. And in fact, I've gone quite grey on that shadow. I've been too scared to go the proper colour, which doesn't surprise me, as it was my first colour pencil portrait ever. So I will not be hard on myself back then. Titanium buff, buff titanium, where have you gone? Told you, totally disorganised. Buff titanium. There you are. Okay, so let's get that blended out. Again, oval. I'm not pressing too hard because in fact this is probably very relevant for you, Imogen, is when you start to use Luminance, because they are so waxy, they have a higher percentage of oil than the Pablos and the Polychromos. I think the oils in the Polys and Pablos I think is about 10%, and then the Luminance is about 20%. So they're an awful lot creamier than your standard wax pencils. So if you use your buff titanium, don't be heavy handed with it, because you'll find that you'll end up with a slick, which can make it a bit more difficult then to go over the top with your Polys or your Pablos. I am doing a second one, yes. I could do that one live. The only thing being, I suppose this one's not available as a tutorial. I suppose it's just a... I'm not that confident yet with pastels. So if I get asked loads of questions, I'll be like, don't actually know. As I am still learning myself. So possibly, but possibly not the hummingbird. As I don't want to make an arse out of myself on a live feed. Okay, so we're getting a nice blend out. It's almost like if you were to paint, this would be like your dry brush to blend your colours out. Okay, how are we looking? I'm really liking that shadow there. That's worked really, really well, especially with that colour. Yeah, the Luminance, you either have to leave it till last, or you have to have at least 4 or 5 layers down before you start whacking any Luminance down, in my experience, on smooth paper. Because yeah, you'll find it difficult to then start layering on top of the Luminance, so you do have to be quite careful with how punishing you are with it. The itchy noise is said to be a surprise coming. Oh, itchy nose. Is it? I get one every time we do a live feed. So I don't know. Okay, so I know that I need to bring this shading in a touch more. And I might use the grey. No, I'm not going to use the grey. I'm going to use the violet probably. This doesn't need to be quite as bright here, but then this needs to be darker, so that's what we're going to do. I feel like Samantha off Bewitched. I ended up making it up in the end, Erica, because I don't know, I just got really confused with feathers. Feathers are, as we know from the Kingfisher tutorial, are not an easy thing to draw. They're rewarding when you get them done, but they can be really tricky. What is it with me on a live feed and dogs barking? Right, I'm just using dark sepia because I don't want to add any more red into this pocket, but I need it to be darker. So rather than make it redder, we're going to grey down the tone slightly and use the dark sepia instead. And that way we can afford to still carry on go a bit darker without turning her into a big red mess. I've got my doors open because it's still really warm in the den at the moment. If you can hear it and it's irritating, let me know because I'll go and shut the den door. I will look up in a minute. Concentrating. The two purples I'm using at the moment is purple violet, and then we've got the light red violet. And they're great for her particular skin tone. Now, because I don't want to go any lighter on her colour, I am going to blend with probably the light flesh, but I'm just going to pop some cinnamon down. The cinnamon has a slightly yellower, I suppose, fleshier tone to it than the flesh tones. It's hard to describe actually. I can't. I'm losing the plot. So there's your light, there's your medium. So that's proper pinky colour. This light is absolutely crap. Sorry guys. If I do that, then we get light glare. It's all delicious today. And then you get cinnamon. So cinnamon's sort of in between, but it has a slightly orangier tone, like salmony cinnamon colour. But instead of adding more pink to it, you then end up adding a bit of orange, so it just evens out the tone, especially if you've got an olive skin tone like she has. Once we come to do the body area, it's going to come together a lot quicker because it's a much flatter area and the shadows are much more bold. So we can now go over with the light flesh, blend it all instead of the buff. So let's just go a slightly different angle, increasing pressure. As I've mentioned before, when you start your first few layers, there's damage to this paper, which is really frustrating. There's a line in there. As you start to come up through your layers, that's when you start to apply more pressure to your pencils. There's lots of comments going on my page. What's happening? There we go. Okay, let's blend out this middle section. Again, it might not look it, but I'm staying with the oval shape. In fact, I don't think my hand can physically do any other shape. It's been trained hard to keep this motion, so it doesn't really know anything else. Okay, this lighting is absolutely driving me crazy. Right, it's a little bit lighter. It's not true as colour, but... Hi, Emily. Okay, so we are going to... I think I might do one more coat. In fact, I'm going to use my buff titanium to even out. Let me sharpen. I'm going to even out this side as it's a bit lighter. So I'm just going to use the buff titanium to do that. Oh, it's like a paintbrush buff titanium. It's just such an amazing colour and pencil to use. So we need to use probably a grey tone to blend. No, in fact I won't. I'm going to use the light flesh to blend it over the purples. Just me tagging people. Oh, thanks. I know what I might. I think it's still down. Look, it's down on 21. That's why. Let me turn my light up. We normally have it on 36. And are you up? You're not even up maximum. God, no wonder I'm having trouble. Deary me. Okay, I'm probably going to be really glaring now right there. Okay, at least I can see what I'm doing now. Okay, so we're going to blend over. Wondering whether that highlight on the knuckle, I'm not sure it's bright enough. Getting really hot. Hair off my neck. Okay, what I might do is grab my white just on the very tip. You might not even be able to really see it through the camera, but just that tiny tip area. So where you've gone over, or where I have gone over with the pink, it's basically desaturated the purple slightly, so all we need to do is bring that back up. And then I will know how dark I need to go on this edge of her finger once I get these shadows in on her body area. Okay, now there's quite a stop-start happening here, and that is not in the picture, so we need to blend that out and reduce that. Again, this is where things like the buff titanium really come into their own, because They really help blend out hard edges. Darken it slightly, I think. Get in there. Okay, so one last comparison. 2019, 2017. Massive difference. Even the detailing on her knuckles here, this is much more realistic than this one. So that's a massive difference. It just goes to show, and my patrons know how much I bang on about just practicing and getting your head down and just doing. It's one of the best ways that you can ever learn. I've always been a visual learner, and I've always been one that has to do. When I was her age, actually, probably a bit younger, my stepdad used to own he owns a bath shop, and he used to own like a slab making company from the backyard of the bathroom shop. And as a kid, I used to go and help fill the moulds up. So these huge metal moulds with cement. And I was always hands-on as a kid. And I truly believe that the only way you're going to really get to the nitty-gritty and get the hang of it is to just keep going. Because I know so many of you are at this stage right now. And my video previous to this, if you haven't watched it already, is why you need to stop comparing yourself to other artists. And when I said that here's our artist path, and let's have a little one of these in the middle, because let's face it, that's how it goes. You're here at the moment and I'm here, but I used to be here and I just carried on until I got to there, and you will eventually get to there. So yeah, just keep cracking on, peeps. Keep cracking on. Only just tuned in, we're away in our caravan and have been busy. Oh, that sounds nice. And now you've come back and watching me. I hope you're having a nice time. Okay, let's crack on with the body. I'm not going to bore you with the bandana bit. It's a bit pointless, really. It's just got a bit of green in it, so I'll deal with that off screen probably. We've got some hair in there that we need to get in. So let's go straight in with the medium flesh. And I'm using the medium flesh to block in where the shadow is going to be. Because it's just easier that way. I'm not entirely sure where that's come from. I don't think that's there. I think that's further down. We've got some hair that I need to draw in. That comes down here. I'm trying to leave some negative space for the larger pieces of hair, because I don't want to be sitting here having to scrape it all back after. And that's a big shadow in there. Remember I said before that we would end up darkening this shadow once I do the flesh, because I will then know how dark this needs to go once I've done this area, because at the moment it's slightly too well, it's too wishy-washy really. It needs to be much deeper, and there's actually quite a lot of red in there, so I'm a visual learner too. Yeah, I am. It's always got to be hands-on. I'm much better hands-on. Right, let's grab my light flesh and let's just get a base layer down. Again, we've got some purple tones in, which we'll add a bit later. So again, as I said, I'm just going to leave negative space for the hair just to save me a job later on. So again, nice ovals. Doing it in ovals is one of the easiest ways to fill a large space as well, without you then having to deal with pencil lines later. If you are one that is at this stage where you can see your pencil lines quite clearly, you need to go away and practice basically doing ovals. Just sit there in front of the telly and put a blank piece of paper in front of you, whether you use biro, pencil, colouring pens, doesn't matter. Just practice doing ovals. I have no idea if you can hear the dog at all. So again, apologies if you've just come on and you can hear a dog barking in the background. I'm just leaving the shadow blank at the moment. A good way to practice is either set yourself a circle or a square. Start from one corner, tiny ovals, and then practice getting larger. So you can see the larger you've got to go, the more pencil lines you're getting. So at that stage, that's when you need to stop trying to fill it. You then need to come back and you need to do it in parts. And just do little areas instead. So if you're doing, you know, if you're starting off really nicely and then you find actually you're starting to get a bit like this, then you need to stop, and that's when you need to just, yeah, fill in little spaces. And again, it teaches you not to try and get large areas done at once. And you know more than anyone, those people that have followed me for a really long time, I'm just as guilty of starting out like that. So we all do it. Yeah, this is light flesh I'm currently using at the moment. And I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to fill in any more space. And this is the area that we're now going to work on. I'm just going to do another layer, but I'm going to go in the opposite direction of where I have been. If you go in the opposite direction, it helps to fill out any space that may be there, and it just helps to cover the paper surface if you're like me and you don't like seeing the tooth underneath. Hi John. Okay, just finish this last little area here. See, even this bit I'm going to have to do in two sections because I don't want to stretch my reach, because if I start to stretch my reach, that is when I start to show the pencil marks. Don't be in a rush to finish your portraits ever, she says. Mrs. No Patience. But don't. I mean, we've done this. Yes, we've had interruptions and I've shown you various things and we've stopped and chatted and whatever. But we've done this over, what, 5 live feeds now? 4 live feeds? And at each time we're doing an hour 50, 2 hours. And, you know, we've got, what, 10% left to go. So, really, I went from doing portraits in 4 hours, which is nothing. Nowadays, an average portrait will take you between 8 and 12, all the way up to 14 or 16, depending on size and detail and things like that. So, just slow down. Is it really annoying you? It's annoying me. But it's really warm in here, so I've kept the door open. I think I need to do that bandana, you know. I think it's going to drive me nuts if I don't do it. And I stole the green pencils for the hummingbird. Here they are. It's actually really, really light. So there isn't a huge amount to do on the bandana. But it would make sense to just get it done, wouldn't it? That's actually really fleshy in there. I must, it's the top of her ear. Because it's got quite a big depth of field, the top of her ear is quite out of focus, but I can now see that that's what it is. This is going to be far from absolutely correct, by the way, as well. I want to add a bit more colour because the bandana is quite lost under her hair. I'd like it to have a bit more of a feature. Hang on, I'm going off screen, aren't I? Off piste. Hi Sherry, how are you? There we go, you can see a bit better now. Oh, it's stopped now anyway. For now. Okay, so basically we have, I don't know what I've even sketched down here, but none of that makes sense. So we've got a circle-ish shape in here. We've got a triangle in here. Hang on a minute, Bonnita, come on. Wake up. Let's do that, let's do that. Okay, I can see just here, but it is so light. That's right by her finger, so we've got a flower here. I'm basically going to fill, I think I'm going to fill it in with Cold Grey 1 because it's too cold to be buff titanium. So we're going to go in with the Cold Grey 1, I think. Why are you feeling the odd one out? Are you the only boy in the classroom? Oh, it's funny, isn't it, how it picks up then? Okay. Right, as I say, you can't barely see any detail really. So I'm just going to indicate that the colour's there. In fact, that's really nice and subtle. I am trying my absolute best to save up for a new camera because this camera just keeps letting me down when I'm doing these live feeds. So I'm hoping in the next couple of months that I can get a new camera. sorted out. I need to try and get another sale going really. I'm going to do a bundle on my cutting templates as well. Okay, that's pretty much all you can see. Let's just blend that out. Let's get that red in there. Remember, we didn't quite finish the hair off up here. I keep saying we like you're actually drawing it for me, but you're not. So, and in here we have a tiny tip of her ear. I don't know if it's going to translate as the tip of her ear, but we'll go with the flow. Buff titanium, buff titanium. I don't even think I filled this space in. Right, primrose, primrose, primrose. I honestly do not know how we remember half these names. I swear I don't remember half the names. Oh, there's some really, really wrong keys as well. Oh, there's nothing worse, is there, than mistyping an entire thing. I'm not being brutal, I'm just being quick. Need to get more colour in that hair because it's just looking lost. So I think I'm gonna have to dig out my I was gonna try the burnt ochre, but I might try the ivory. No, I need the burnt ochre. There you are. Itchy nose. Need to get the shadows in as well. We haven't done any of that up here. You almost need to add the extra detail in. Like with the hummingbird that I'm doing, it was done on a really foggy day. So there's quite a lot of, there is a hell of a lot of detail in there, considering it was done in a foggy day. But there's also a lot that I've sort of, rather than have it as not out of focus, but the depth of field that you get, I've decided to add a few more details in there. I think we need some of whatever lemonade she's having. I'm just going to make it up now. Just need some little bits of deets. And I shall get my slice tool out in a second. I don't think I've got enough colour down for the slice tool, but we shall give it a go nonetheless. We shall soon find out. Slice tool, where are you? I will lose my blooming head if it wasn't screwed on. Where's my slice tool gone? Okay, which one of you has run off with my slice? Fess up. Slice tool. Oh, not now. Now is not a good time to go walk about. Okay, I officially can't find my slice tool. Hang on a minute, I might know where it is. Ta-da! pixies ran off with it and put it on my packing disc. How dare they? Okay, let's see if we've got enough down. And it's time to shut the door. Before that noise starts coming in. Okay, so there isn't really enough colour. Oh, no, we might be alright. There's enough to indicate. I nearly blew them. Naughty me. I think because the hair's so light and the camera's not particularly working very functionally for me at the minute, I don't know how well this is going to translate down the camera, but it is working. Enough for me at least to be able to then go over and accentuate the hair. No! Get it out. Use it. I've fallen in love with my Pablo white again. I fell out of love with it for a while, but it's done me proud with the Kingfisher. So I've invested a bit more time in it lately. It's done me good. There we go. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. So we have shadows in here. We basically have to show that it's creasing without having really heavy lines. So that is where you need to practice your soft shading. Because we don't want any heavy pencil lines. It's all got to be really gentle and soft. I'm making tons of sense tonight. Okay, so we want a cold grey. I think we're going to need cold grey 2 underneath here where the shadow has hit. Then we are going to need cold grey 1 for the other section, and they are in with the doggy portrait pencils. That's 3, I think. Yes, that's 1 and that's 2. So let's go with 2 first. So the shadow is pretty much here. So again, nice little oval motions. Okay, now I'm gonna basically just go straight up. I'm gonna go over the green because I want it to be toned within that shadow as well. Again, it ovals. I am applying a little bit of pressure this time because I'm not going to be putting loads of layers down because there's no point. I don't need to. I might bring the cold grey 3 in just for that little dark shadow there. And we got one that sits just here. So rather than drawing the shape in with a line, you're basically shading the shape in. Okay, so why do you not blow the bits off the paper? Cheers, Erica. Yes, because especially when you do pastel portraits, but it's actually one of the only ways you can get rid of the dust. But yes, if you accidentally spit on your portrait as you're going, which has been done a few times, so brush and then sweep it away like so. Okay, so hopefully when we go over with the one, hand all over her face. Right, I definitely do not need to go any darker than that on that bandana, apart from where there's a bit of shadow here. Quite sure why I have a tiny burnt ochre here, but there we go. Okay. So we've got shadow up in here that we just need to strengthen. Okay, and I think we could afford to go a little bit stronger in here. So I'm just going to strengthen the shadow there. I'm going to strengthen it up here. Because I'm already applying a certain amount of pressure, I know that I could be really anal about where all these colours and things are, but I shouldn't say this, but I really am not bothered right now about it being 100% accurate. As long as it looks like a photo at the end of it, I'm going to be happy with the results. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly like the photo. Okay, so we've got a bit more of a sweeping shadow here, and then I'm going to blend over with the cold grey one because I don't want to add any more colour. So we're just going to saturation burnish basically. I can see exactly what I've done here. I've drawn her hair over her ear. You can actually see, it's really blended out, but you can see the whole of her ear. So I'm just going to get that shape in there. Okay, I can't believe how dark everything is. So annoying. Trouble is, I bring the brightness up, then it just changes everything else, which is really annoying. Hi Katie. Are you going to do a tutorial of a child with brown skin? No, but I am going to do mini tutorials for the YouTube channel of all the different skin tones, and the reason being is that I may actually be doing a 3-person portrait with very dark skin. So yes, there will be something along the lines. I mean, if on the next portrait, if you want me to do that, then I can. As I say, it's not going to be till September for the Patreon group. Or if we do some mini ones, I might even possibly be able to get 2 in. But yeah, at the minute it's really hard trying to fit everything in time wise, but I do want to do some mini tutorials on all the different shades of skin tone for myself actually, as well as everyone else. Who was it that turned around and said, I love it when Bonnita blows? I can't remember who it was. Was that you, Joe? That made me chuckle anyway. Yeah, she's got some really, really nice purple tones in her skin. My lighting is absolutely crap today and it's really, really annoying me. So she looks really washed out. Some of it I think is because the camera's closer. But yeah, it doesn't look... Well, you can see by my hand how washed out, and the colour's just not... It's just so frustrating when you can't have all the equipment you want. I need to get some massive LED lights to basically light up. I have overheads, but it causes it causes shadows. Right, do you know what? I am going to put a very slight, not much, I'm going to grab my Primrose. Because it actually has a very slight yellow tone to it. Can I have one without the syrup though, please? Thank you, Coffee Man. It's just, yeah, it's an odd colour actually. I know that if I put it in colour picker, oh, that's a really loud kettle, sorry guys. If I put it in colour picker, it would actually come out in the grey section. I think the green's not strong enough. I think that's the problem. Oh, it was you, Joe. Ah. Okay, I'm just going to make the green slightly stronger. Oh, those brownies smell so good. They better taste good, because I literally, as I say, just threw all the ingredients in the blender and just shoved it in the oven. If you're new to watching me, the portrait that I'm doing now, this pattern is nothing like the reference picture whatsoever. Yeah, anyway, the picture I'm doing now, as most of you know, if you're new to watching me tonight, you might not, she is my youngest daughter, and we do a lot of makeover, makeup days and polish and all that sort of stuff, and she has sensory processing disorder, and we're also getting her, she's on the autism assessment waiting list, which is 2 years. And she just has this amazing personality, as you can tell from the picture that we took. But she's been really, really suffering at school lately, and you know, half term can't come quick enough. The summer holidays need to just turn up because she needs the break now. It's just all getting too much. Thank you. Okay. Oh, see, still itchy nose. I don't think there's an awful lot more I can do with that hair there. It just pretty much washes out. It's the only trouble with her hair is it's really, really light. So now I've done this bit, I know that the corner, the edge of her face, her cheekbone, we can afford to go a little bit darker. But again, because she's got olive skin, I need to bring in the cinnamon rather than keep bringing in the flesh tones. Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it, with lighting? I have the most, I don't know whether you'll be able to see, look. I have this LED light here. I have this LED ring here. And if I put my overheads on, you get this god-awful shadow underneath, which is really annoying. I hate it when you get shadows when you're drawing. So I need to get some bigger LEDs that I can just flood the office out with. And not on the walls. Hang on, what am I missing? What are we not putting on the walls? Or are we talking the lighting now? Okay, so there's a little bit of shading up here. So just need to strengthen that in here. I don't even think it's actually her, it's her hair here I think that needs, yeah, strengthening. And then of course once we get that shadow in there, see, she looks so washed out, but she's not. It's really annoying. Okay, dark sepia, where did you go? Let's put the lid on the slice tool before I slash my fingers up, because that's not a great idea, is it? She is quite red under her shadow, so I'm just going to layer some... I don't know why this is all going a bit piton here, but it is. Basically, it's just yellowy white. She has to have one of the worst colour hair to draw. Do keep up. Yeah, that's what I'm saving up for, basically. I got all excited thinking I could use my DSLR as recording, but it's absolutely crap. It's no good for recording whatsoever, so I need to save up as much as I can to get a decent camera. Ideally, I'd like a DSLR, but I keep hearing about the Canon G7X. Chloe mentioned that one as well, so that looks like it could be a possibility. But I also like the Canon T6i. That's come up quite a lot as well. I need to zoom out a bit. Okay, so we're going back to the purple tones, which we essentially have a line where you've got like a highlight here. If you look at, you can't really see it very well on the reference. If you have a look on the shoulder here, and then just as you come down to this bit here, there's two light bits, and right down the middle is a purple tone. Look, I can't draw and read at the same time, you know. I can only multitask to a degree. So we come up at a bit of a curve. Yeah, definitely practice your ovals. I'm going to blend that out, I think, with the white. I think it's too dark. Just going to get this purple down, and then I shall blend over. This is such good purple for skin tones. It should be in the description. She says probably not. Right, let's get my I don't want buff titanium, I want white. Being so naughty today. Look, I've got my hand all over her face. These two greys were the most used doing the whole of that car portrait. That's better. It's the, I think it would be the Canon T6. I don't think it's called the T6i in the UK. Or if my money could stretch, then I would get the M50, which is a really good vlogging camera, because at the moment when I stream through OBS, I can see what I'm doing. As soon as you go to a point and click, if it doesn't have a viewfinder that you can stick up, it then gets a bit trickier, because ideally you need to see what you're doing and what it looks like. So the recent video I did about me yabbering on about why you shouldn't compare was done on my phone, which still isn't great, but it was better than my webcam, which is supposed to be one of the best webcams out there, but because they're not compatible with a Mac, you don't get all the official software, so it can stream in 1080p, you can't record in 1080p, which is really annoying. No question is a bad question, so ask as many as you like. It's light red violet. 9201135, light red violet. It should be, she says, in the description, but it might not be because I'm clever like that. Okay, so what do I want to do? I'm losing the plot. Medium flesh, where are you? There you are. Okay, I'm just going to block in where it needs to stay light and where it needs to come down a level, or 6 or 7 or 10 or 30. Okay, still need to go really dark under here. I'll give you a sneak peek before I go of what the hummingbird looks like. Again, it's probably not going to look great because of the camera, but if you want to have a look, I will show you. I can't remember if I told you on the last live feed. If you're using more luminance than you are polys, your slice tool isn't going to work as well, which is why we've had the issues, because I have since learned that it doesn't work as well on the oilier pencils. It works superbly on really good solid wax pencils, but not so much on the luminance. And she's dropping it. There we go. That's lifting the... So we definitely need to still go darker where that hair is, I think. I keep stealing the Van Dyke Brown. I must remember to put it back in the pile for the Patreon tutorial, otherwise I'll be moaning at where is my Van Dyke Brown? Again, it's really good for shadows. Okay, let's go in with the medium. So carry on blocking where the shadows are going to be, and I'll probably end up layering between the medium flesh and the light red violet. Although she does have quite a nice tone on there already, so I may not have to. So she's got a section here that I need to make sure I keep light. So I'm going to use the cinnamon actually to block. Cinnamon? Cinnamon. I was animals, and then I only ever drew people in graphite because I was a big scaredy cat and I was scared of using pencils for people. I don't know, graphite is such a safety net for when you come to do portraits. Yeah, so I don't know, I find the process of people so much more enjoyable in graphite. It's less daunting, I suppose. All you got to deal with is lights, midtones and shadows, whereas coloured pencils, you really do have to sit and work it out. And I think that probably puts a lot of people off. I know it put me off. I have no idea how long we've been going for. How long have we been going for? We have been going for 1 hour 35. I'm going to go for 2 hours tonight. Two whole hours. 2 whole hours of Bonnita Doodles. What more could you want on a Wednesday night? Okay, so we need to get in here dark enough. That needs to come right up. And we got that big old shadow. I think this shadow here is reflecting off the point of the bandana. I think. It's an odd place to have one, but it's there, so we shall put it in. It's not really strong, so it needs blending out at the end, so we're just going to lighten our pencil pressure. Where's my red? Okay. Right, primrose, primrose, primrose. You're not primrose, but you'll do. You'll do for the hair. Okay, should we see if this slice tool is going to work for me? I might not have enough layers down. Let me get a couple more and then we'll give it a go. See, my bandana is really sharp, whereas in the photo, because of the depth of field, it's actually a lot softer than I've made it. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, to be perfectly honest. I don't rightly know. I do a lot of illustration too, especially kids illustration and animal semi-realism. I want to do more people. I love people that do illustration. I miss my doodle days. Oh no, look, we got enough down. Okay, can you see how much easier that worked on the wax pencil compared to when we've tried to do it over the Luminance? So yeah, that is my top tip for tonight, is if you're using Luminance, just bear that in mind, that it is probably unlikely to work as well. There we go. Mwah. Such a good tool. Don't go around kissing yours, because that's health and safety. Right, you're white. I want my buff titanium. Buff titanium. Circular motions. Ovals. Lied. Okay, we just need to blend out where we've come up with the darker flesh, just to make the transition a bit more smooth. Okay. God, that shadow's really bugging me, because it just looks like it shouldn't be there, but it is there. I'm just going to smooth that edge out a bit and see if that helps. Well, it doesn't really, but it's there, so it's got to be there. This is where you know that this has to be much stronger, this shadow. So now we've started to place the areas around her. We know that I could probably go in with the Van Dyke Brown actually. The one time I can't do ovals. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a nice shadow right there. Okay, now what we're going to do is, or what I'm going to do is just use my medium flesh, because we've got like a bit of, where it's sort of, what's the word? It's really soft around the edges. So you have this really strong bit in the middle, and then you have the soft bit around the edges. So rather than try and blend out the dark that we've put in there, we're going to then, I keep saying we, like this is something you're going to draw, and it's not. So I then can blend out into the skin tone, and it just gives it that softer, more shadowy look. That's really not making sense whatsoever. So basically I'm going to bring in my beige, and I'm just going to come out a bit further with that, because we don't want the richness now of the Van Dyke, but we need it to be blurring out to the edges. So I'm just going to use my Pablo beige to do that. That's better. Bye. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, I could probably get away with the beige under here as well, but yeah, I'm going to do a little bit, a tweeny bit. Okay, so I'm going to blend over the whole lot now, and I've got about another 10 minutes, and then I shall do the comparison from the 2017 version to now. And if you want to have a sneaky peek on video about the hummingbird, then I'll bring that over as well. Okay. So opposite direction. A little bit of pressure. But I might get a sharp edge on there, sharp end I should say. Okay. What I'll then do is I shall saturation burnish where the highlight needs to be, just by her finger. Oh, Bixby, will you go away? Me and Bixby are going to fall out. Hey Wendy, you right? You've probably just seen my message then. Probably got about another 10 minutes left, so at least you won't be sat here for hours. Okay, let's The thing with skin tones as well is everybody seems to think you have to layer, which you do to a point, but you also don't have to do sometimes. Okay, so we've got a crease, very light creasing in here, so I'm just going to add that in, and that is in an up and down direction. It's so much more natural to 2017. Okay, we're not actually that far out here, so I'm not overly worried. Okay, so we have got a light path in here, a light patch here, so as long as I remember to keep that, and then I think we can go over with those purple tones. Can have a chat once you finished. Yeah, I don't even know what the time is actually. That's not too bad. Yes, it's just an idea I have had, and I don't know. It's a fun idea and it's a money raising idea. So fingers crossed it won't be a crap idea. Something's bugging me up there, and I think it needs. Let's go with you. It's a bit better. Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? Okay, purple. There is like a really light shadow just under the front portion. Okay, what's tricky is that you're doing this oval motion, but you need to get this angle. You need to go in a shape. So again, that's why it's worth practicing the ovals, because the more adept you get at it, the better. So I'd like to see a show of hands, please. Who would like to see the hummingbird? Not that it will probably do me any favours showing you through this stupid webcam. Yeah, we're getting a really, really nice shape there now, and we just need to blend this out. Touch more, so it's a bit more natural looking. It's a bit stop start on that edge there. So I'll do this blending and then we'll pull the 2017 version and compare. Okay, I'm just going to add some tone in here because I think she is looking a little bit too white, and I know the camera's not helping. She does have a bit more of a pinkier tone than the camera is showing. What I'll do is I'll zoom out in a minute because that will help as well. Okay, right, let's pull you up. So my desk is an absolute mess. I don't know what pens belong to what tutorial now. Why do I always call them pens, for goodness sake? I'm always doing that. Okay, Captain Morton Violet, I know. The Van Dyke, I know, is for the dog. They're all for the dog. They're for the dog. That's for the dog. Let's just put them to one side. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to have enough camera. Do all edges need to be soft? Within reason. You never get dead straight lines like the cartoon lines in nature. So very rarely do you get a stop start. Even on a shadow, it looks like it's a very sharp shadow. So where my hand is laying over that hand, but it still has a very slight soft blended edge. If you say tomorrow, especially if it's sunny, just put some things out to create some shadows on paper, and you'll see that you'll naturally, yes, you'll get a shadow, but you'll get that soft edging as well. So yeah, very, very, very rarely do you ever get hard lines, which is why you'll always hear me say the term stop, start. Only sort of things like this, because it's not nature, it is a man-made thing. You get those really harsh lines. So hopefully that makes sense. So 2017 so far. 2019. Let me see if I can get you out even more. So yeah, that hand, massive difference. Even the toning, she just looks so washed out and white there, doesn't she? So big difference. So much more realistic. Okay, let me go get the Kingfisher. And I would also like to apologise to Faber-Castell, because I didn't think the camera would show it very well. Crappy camera. The colours are so much nicer than that. Let's bring my lights closer. Okay, so you can tell the size. That's A4. The bird itself is A3, and the sheet itself is, the inside bit is 47 by 31. So Faber-Castell, I'd like to apologise publicly. For those that have watched my Racer review, I was like, what on earth would you use that for? If you haven't seen it, go and have a look. But I was like, it's like Sculpey clay. But my God, I take it back. And it has been a lifesaver, because with pastel, you end up with dust everywhere. This is the most amazing dusty picker-upper. It's covered in dust at the moment, so I'm not really going to bother until I finish the whole portrait. But it has been my best friend for doing this portrait. So thanks Faber-Castell, and I apologise about saying what on earth, I will probably never use it, because I have been using it, because pastel dust gets everywhere. So if you're going to be doing pastels, it's actually a really good idea to get one. It's really soft, but it picks up dust so easily, ridiculously easily. So that is the Faber-Castell Kneadable. You can't even read it, so I don't know what I'm trying to show you. I got it off Wish. No, I didn't. AliExpress. But yeah, he's getting there. So I've got the branches and the bottom feathers left to do. I'm just really annoyed because this camera doesn't show as well as it should, which is really frustrating. It totally looks like Hubba Bubba chewing gum, doesn't it? And it feels like it too. It really does. But it's actually really good. So I take it back, Faber-Castell. Shut up, Bixby. Apparently, I want to say a formula. Stupid phone. Right, I shall love you and leave you. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, whichever it may be for you. And I shall see you on the other side.